Thank you very much, Professor Samsudin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon all of you. Excellencies, esteemed speakers and moderator, esteemed religious leaders, esteemed ladies and gentlemen. I hope that I speak last will not become a trend because, you know, of course, women's first, ladies first should not become ladies last. But I know that it is because of my name, it's explained, so it's okay. Thank you for having me here. It is really my pleasure and my privilege to be here. And many, many years ago, I got to know the Society of San Egidio through my father, President Wahid, who attended many of the conferences and was an early advocate for interreligious dialogue. Him going into interreligious dialogue wasn't without a challenge, as he was a leader of a very big Islamic organizations in Indonesia with around 100 million of grassroots followers, Nahdlatul Ulama. So when he started talking to other religious leaders, then people just didn't understand his thinking and thought of him as a sellout for our religion. In fact, I remember that the first time he set foot in a church, there's a big condemnation against him. The first time he went to Jerusalem, we even had death threats for 1 month. But with time and conviction, he continued the struggle, and now interreligious dialogue is seen as a necessity in our society as a way to build bridges in an increasingly diverging world. So this particular conference for me is very touching as I follow in my father's legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world that is becoming increasingly interconnected, it is vital that we recognize and appreciate the diverse religious beliefs and traditions that exist among us. By fostering understanding and respect through interreligious dialogue, we can pave the way towards a harmonious coexistence in our global community. First and foremost, interreligious dialogue serves as a means to dismantle the barriers that divide us. It encourages individuals from different faith backgrounds to come together and engage in open and honest conversations. Through these conversations, prejudices and misconceptions can be dispelled, fostering an environment of empathy and understanding. By seeking common ground and focusing on shared values, we can build bridges of understanding that transcend religious differences. Moreover, interreligious dialogue acts as a catalyst for resolving conflicts and promoting peace. By engaging in respectful conversations, we create opportunities for reconciliation and peaceful coexistence. History has shown us the power of dialogue in resolving deep-rooted religious conflicts, fostering social cohesion, and preventing the escalation of violence. By encouraging dialogue between religious leaders, scholars, and ordinary people, we can work towards finding common solutions to the challenges we face as a global society. But the question is, how do we bring these lofty goals and mechanisms to a more sustainable working level? So please allow me to share our stories on how we do it in Indonesia. I'd like to tell the stories in two different approaches, the macro level and the micro level. The macro level, of course, concerns policies and traditions in the society. Professor Samsudin mentioned earlier about how religious leaders try to build bridges when there are conflicts. So that's part of the way we try to diffuse conflicts in the society. But on the other hand, government policies also matter. If you happen to find yourself in Indonesia, you will find one of the largest mosques in Southeast Asia, the Mosque Istiqlal, that was built by a Christian architect. And next to it is the biggest cathedral in our country. And connecting the two buildings is a tunnel of tolerance that is just recently built. It's not yet officiated, but it's there. Indonesia is predominantly Muslim country, but on the other hand, we also have the largest Buddhist temple in Southeast Asia, which is Temple Borobudur. In fact, a few years ago, Indonesia donated a miniature of Borobudur Temple to the Vatican Museum. So there's a big significance about the gesture because, from a predominantly Muslim country, donating a big Buddhist statue to a Christian, to a Catholic establishment. We also have the biggest Vishnu statue that is referred by the Hindus in the island of Bali. And despite the fact that we only have very small number of Jewish people in our country, we also have a very big synagogue in one of other islands in Indonesia. Apart from that, the government also creates policies that make sure that people from all different religious backgrounds are respected. They have the same rights before the law. In fact, when there is a holidays, so days that is sacred to any religions, there is a holiday in Indonesia. Not just Christmas, not just Idul Fitri or Idul Adha, but also sacred holidays, sacred days to the Hindus, to the Buddhists, and also to the Confucianism. So for us, actually, the more religions we have in our country, the better it is, because there are many holidays. It is a joke, you're allowed to laugh. Apart from the state actors, the governments, we also have non-state actors and civil society organizations extending protections to minority groups in Indonesia. And you, my own organization, and Muhammadiyah, our partner in crime, when it comes to protecting minority groups in Indonesia. Whenever there is a problem, they come to us, and we will try to bridge the gap, we will try to diffuse the conflict, and we always extend protection to them. Apart from the macro level, I'd like also to share from a micro level example of how we try to foster tolerance on a community level. And allow me to share the story of an initiative that we do at our own foundations, which is called the Peace Village Initiative. It is developed as a specific program to bring interreligious dialogue on a community level, but at the same time putting women and youth at the core of societal transformation. We started Peace Village Initiative in 2013 in a small scale with a simple idea that grassroots women could play an important role in increasing communities' welfare and cohesion, provided that they're given access to networks, to skills, and adequate social supports. Since then, year by year, our initiative grew and attracted many supporters. We've got governments, international bodies such as the UN, and private companies now supporting the initiative that spans across 5 provinces and 30 different villages in Indonesia, affecting almost 1 million of members of the society. Peace Village Initiative started with the idea that peace and tolerance is not a taken for granted situation. Peace and tolerance are created and recreated by our society through continuous action. Social conflicts occur not because of mere differences in religion, in ethnicity, language, or even political leanings. It is triggered by a collective feeling of being sidelined, of being marginalized, of being abandoned. Therefore, we try to approach this issue holistically. Our program employs a well-crafted method combining 4 vital components in building enduring peace and resilience in the community. The first one is through economic empowerment, women empowerment, peace-building social mechanism, and sustainable environment. So those are the examples on a macro and micro level on how we try to bring interreligious dialogues into actionable plan. It's not enough just to talk. We need also to walk the talk. I'd like to also conclude by inviting all of you, all of us here, to create meaningful changes by doing actionable plan, by real actions. Because I believe that every single of us is just a drop of water, but together we are an ocean. Thank you very much.